Alrighty everybody, welcome back. My name is Tyler and we are joined by Regina, our 1998 International 3800 Amtran school bus that we plan to renovate into like an RV to live out of for who knows how long. So today the job that I'm tackling is removing this electronic stop sign. I preface that it's electronic because these can also be air powered. This specific model is electronic. You can tell because you can kind of hear the motor spinning and you don't hear any like air compressors activating at all. That's very much the sound of an electronic motor. So that's all we got to deal with is wiring. We don't have to deal with any air hoses, which in my opinion is kind of nice. It's cold out here. It's like 35 degrees and we are anticipating getting a snowstorm tonight, between 5 to 8 inches, and it's supposed to start snowing 20 minutes ago. So we're gonna see how this goes. I hope this is quick and easy. I think it'll be. I think it's just a matter of removing some wires. Some people like to snip them off, but for the sake of keeping as clean a fuse panel as possible, I prefer to actually unplug the wires, get them out of there, and then just removing the stop sign. So we'll start by getting the wires disconnected from the fuse panel. So this may be a little bit difficult to see, but I've kind of tracked everything that comes in from the stop sign. It's pretty much all of these wires here, and they all kind of make their way right into this area here. So there's like 4 or 5 wires pretty much that I just have to get out of this little panel right here, and then from there we should just be able to remove the stop sign. Now before I get started, something that I forgot to mention is it's always a really good idea when dealing with anything electrical on the bus, before you start your project and start removing any wires, start the bus, make sure it starts smoothly, and then as you remove wires, continue to start the bus to make sure it continues to start. The last thing you want is to go through a couple of different projects, remove 20 or so wires, and then at the end realize that the bus no longer starts, and now you have to troubleshoot all 20 of the wires. If you go wire by wire, you realize I removed this wire, the bus starts, I remove this wire, the bus starts, I remove this wire, the bus doesn't start. Now I know it was that wire and it's a lot easier to track down and fix the problem. I've already gone ahead and started the bus, so let's get right at it. Also, before I get started in doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of the way that the wires are currently going in case I mess with anything or need to put them back. I have reference. Specifically, you want to make sure that you can see colors or numbers in terms of the wiring. That's the easiest way to keep track of it. So now I'm just going to be tracking them from the stop sign and removing them. Should be fairly straightforward. Well, so far that only took a couple of minutes, but it looks like I got all 4, 5 kind of wires out of here, and I'm just gonna now get ready to start taking off the actual stop sign itself. I can see snowflakes starting to fall, so if I could get this done in a couple of minutes, this would be awesome. And one thing that we can see now is since I've removed the wires, this pulls right out and doesn't go back in. So it's really helpful to do the wiring first. That way you can get to some of these bolts that are back behind here. And I think it's just going to be 2 more bolts. Let's see. Ah, looks like maybe one more. And of course, the last one's the one that doesn't want to come out. This one looks a little bit rusty and corroded, so we're going to give it a quick spray with some liquid wrench penetrating oil. The chemical makeup of this stuff is good at breaking down rust, so it can kind of get some of that rust off of the threads and make screws and bolts a little bit easier to get undone. It does look like that's the last screw that has to come out, so worst comes to worst, if we can't get that undone, we may just have to chisel away at it. And there we go, we got it undone. Make sure that these wires aren't tangled up with other wires when we pull them through. Might have been easier as a two-person job. And there we go. Easy as that. Amazing. One thing to keep in mind, particularly with our bus, I'm guessing a lot of other buses are the same, is these screws. They look like simple Phillips screws. They're not. They're actually a combination Phillips and square bit. So be careful, because using just a regular Phillips bit, unless it's perfectly sized for the screw, can easily strip it. So if you go with like a combination, let's see if we can get the focus, combination Phillips square bit, that's how you're going to get have the easiest time getting these screws out. So a lot of these are actually easier to get out with purely square bits than purely Phillips bits, but go with the combination bit if you've got it. And that's that. We've got the entire stop sign assembly removed. Obviously they painted right over it, but we're going to repaint the whole bus anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like I said, I would highly recommend getting the wires out of the fuse box rather than just clipping them. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier down the road when you have 4 or 5 less wires in the fuse box to deal with, because that can be pretty intimidating at times. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and start the bus, make sure everything works, but I know this was a quick one. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hopefully this helped out. Like I said, we have a 1998 International 3800. It's a handicap bus, and the chassis was built by Amtran. So I hope this helps you guys out, gives you a little bit of confidence in doing this job. It's really a lot easier than it seems, being that it deals with some of the electrical stuff. But feel free to check out some of our other videos, hit the subscribe button, and tune into some of the projects that we got coming in the future. We're hoping to get this thing moving. I'll be working, well, I guess I can't share that quite yet, but thanks for stopping by. Have a good one, guys.